Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Lilibet Day channel. Hello, How is everybody in the world today, tonight, afternoon, and your time? Mega love shout out to all my members who always still there, and to all my pioneer viewers like Kiss, hi Kiss, and of course to my dear husband Frank Tate. Good morning. Here in the Philippines, in my place is 1 week nonstop raining, and last night we have a blackout. It starts at 8:30 p.m. and then we have lights about electricity. I mean, this morning 4 a.m. So I just worry about my live streaming because I can't do live stream without electricity. So thanks God that we have electricity. So please hit like the button and subscribe and join the membership to become part of the family. Thank you. So this is Kids. Is still raining in your place? Because here in Paranaque is 1 week. It's 1 week nonstop raining. Continues, raining morning until night, and then on the next day. Oh yeah. So yeah, so a good thing that we prepared for that. If in case no electricity, I have lots of candles, and then of course I bought two emergency flashlight. Uh, Actually, I take it into the car because we use that if in case that something happened to the car during the nighttime. So it's chargeable, but you have to be careful about using candle because that's the end of a fire. So you always put water before you lighten the candle. Yeah, that's very sweet, kiss. Candle. But good thing that there's no air condition, but I can able to sleep because it's raining and it's not hot. So I'm not worried about that. So last night, because we have a big porch here in my place, and I told Frank, so if I have a folding bed, I will sleep outside, in the porch, because it's dark. Nobody can see me. It's dark, and then my plants. The this is my porch. Okay, my background. So all the plants grow so fast once they receive rainwater, so nobody can see me if I sleep in the porch. Well, we still on the AC. I guess just like a low uh thermostat. So today our topic is cohabitation versus marriage. Which comes first? Yeah, for those married, feel free to join with us, or feel free to share your experience before you get married. So this is, this is the first, well, you know, it's not oftenly, to do like, we don't have that electricity because, well, we have generator here, but just only this building. So because, the admin office is in this building. So in other, other buildings, I don't know if they have generator, but yes, in this building where I live, there's a generator. So that's one thing that, a few days ago, that's Frank mentioned about generator too, if in case that uh we experience blackout. Actually, yesterday, I don't know, it's just like I'm in the mood to cook food. So I cook food so that, just stock in the in the refrigerator for, so that, I don't need to cook every day, just reheat in the microwave. So I cooked three menu yesterday. So I cook vegetable stew with meatballs, and then smattered pork chop, and then the other one, it's, we call this, in Filipino dish that, similar to a beef stew michado. So I cook that, and then, in a few hours, it's blackout. So good thing that, we have a freezer, so it's still cool. So I put it there. So, and you know what, the the gas here, it's goes up. So you have to be aware of, you know become thrifty for that. And then also, the electricity starts to get high and high. So we pay, like last June, July, we pay every month about over 200 US dollars, guys. That's our electric bill. Because, everything in Meralco, the generation charge, everything they put on the charge. So you have to be aware of that. So I don't want all the food in the freezer to throw out in a blackout. Blackout means here in the Philippines, brown out. Cohabitation and marriage, what is interesting topic? It's like agree or disagree opinion. What do you think? Many people do cohabitation in the Philippines. Okay. Many also get married. Yes. It's according the environment, it's according the religion, belief, or sorry guys, to I So how is my audio, guys? Just let me know, okay? People will judge you. What do you mean will judge you if you are do cohabitation? For me, I don't care. This is my life. So I'm not living with the people. I'm living with the man, or you're living with the woman. So do women want cohabitation, or do they want to get married when they are young, or wait until they are little? They are little older, huh? Okay. We're gonna talk that about babies. Okay. So anyway, guys, let me do my intro. Have you ever wondered, should couples live together before getting married, or should marriage come first? That's a good question. So we're gonna discuss that later. The question that I mentioned. This is a big question, all right? Especially today. Some people believe you should live together first to see if you are truly compatible. Others believe that living together should comes only after marriage because marriage is a serious commitment. So, which one is better? Let's talk about the advantages or disadvantages and these important things couples should consider before making this decision. Mr. Frank from Kiss depends on what benefits she will receive. Many people wants the benefits. Okay, so let's go to cohabitation first. Marriage license was created to punish and control the people by the government. My alarm is on. Okay, so here, living together before marriage can give couples a chance to experience everyday life together. Dating can be very different from sharing the same home. So that's the thing, guys, that it's important, to know the person first, because if you know the person, it's easy for you to adjust if you live together in one roof. But it's just like in a short time period of knowing with each other, and then all of a sudden the real color of the person that you with, it came out. It's kind of hard for you to adjust for that kind of situation. Lilibet, let's ask Jesus. It's in the Bible. Well, I know that, in the Bible, Jesus in the Ten Commandments said that go on and multiply. So it never tells that you can go multiply if you are married. If you are not married, you cannot go multiply. But in the Bible says that, go on multiply. So it's just like marriage or cohabitation. It's in you. Well, we're gonna talk that later. So for some couples, they can help them decide whether marriage is actually the right choice. How long does it take to know someone? Well, I have I don't know other people, but me it's just like 1 year. 1 year for me. But I don't know other people how long they will take to know the person. It's not for me a year, that would be the right um the right age, or the right, uh the period time, the period time. It's not a week. It's not a month. Year. Not years, okay? Because you're gonna wait for long time of years, and then you end up you wasting your both time. What's in the Ten Commandments, Keys? Okay, when you live together, you see how your partner handles money, household responsibilities, stress, disagreements, and personal habits. Should a young Filipino wait until she can find a mate that can make enough money to be able to take care of a family? No, I don't think that, some they can wait. But some young Filipina, they choose older men. But if you're gonna ask, they can wait, that's a big question mark. So you may discover things you never noticed while dating. That's the difference. So for some couples, this can be help to decide whether marriage is actually the right choice. Go multiplying and making babies was told to Adam and Eve by Jesus' father. When you live together, okay, so here's also the downside. Here's also the downside. Sometimes couples become comfortable living together without ever moving towards marriage. They may share a home, bills, and responsibilities, and avoid having serious conversation about their future. And if the relationship ends, separating finances, properties, pets, or other responsibilities can become complicated. Okay, so let's go, because this is, I'm talking about, the first is cohabitation. For me, it's just like I already read about things that you will discover to your partner when you live in one roof, because dating and living together is totally different. So, okay, let me read this before I continue. Mr. Frank, yes, a good stable job should be better to take care of your family. So, in my thought process, because here in the Philippines, the dating, before, now that this generation, new generation, dating is not just like, it's just like they make it into what do you call that? Um, they're making fun, having dating. Unlike before, that dating is just like the start to know the person, to know the family of that person, how he act, how he manage, things in the future. But now dating now is just like they're making fun, it's just like, even though people that has profession, they think totally different. It's just like a dumb decision that they're doing. So they are not really think, or like, uh they are not, they are intellectual, but they are not smart to do or to make some decision that makes their life better. But they are intellectual, but they do such a dumb decision that people will know, what is this person did, seriously? Even in marriage, even in marriage, you've been together for so many years, there's a certain things that that you encounter. But it's just like when you're dedicated to, and you really value marriage, it's just like it's easy for you to adjust, it's easy for you to understand if you pick the right person. Nobody's perfect. Everyone has this, they have a personality that you are not really the same, so you have to understand that kind of personality, the person that you with. Okay, but when it comes to the thing, you don't really end up that, okay, we're gonna split, or we're gonna file annulment or divorce for that, because they are matured enough to understand the marriage thing. Unlike, young couple that, especially both, they are financially stable, they just competing with each other. Okay, the pride, they always competing their pride. And then, okay, you want separate, okay, let's do this, let's do the thing, they have, competing with each other. So the marriage thing is no longer important to them. But I'm not saying all, but some, they still value marriage. So that's important, that you pick the right person, because if there's some dislike, it's easy for you to adjust with your partner. Because now that's, there's some women, they want to control their men. Some men, they want to control their women. There's so many, I cannot really specific that, or I cannot really generalize that, because each person has their own personality. At what age does a young Filipino male make enough money to be able to take care of a woman and a child? So for me, it's just like, at the age of 35. If if that person, if that Filipino man finish, continues, find a job, save money, I think 35, 35 to 35. But it's according, the person, education background or what. Because even though that the age that I mentioned, if they are not, if they are, if it's just like I example, if they uh continue, when they, at the very young age, they finish college and then continue to find a job, I think 35 years old, that's, the perfect age for Filipino men, so that he can able, to finance the needs of, of his future wife and future child. Mr. Frank, I could have awesome business making money at any age, but other factors cause problems such as budget planning and spending habits. So that's one thing that, that's I always heard when Frank go on different show. He always advise, especially those brothers or men or people, always spend below your limit, not overspend, not spend over your limit. Because if you spend below your limit, you can still able to save money for that. Especially, that's one thing that you always save, especially if you're poor. That's how we people think save. It doesn't matter how much money you're gonna, you will receive. You always sit aside for your savings. What did Jesus really say about marriage in the Bible? Okay, I gonna reverse the question for you, Kiss. What really Jesus says about marriage? So, for me, in my opinion about cohabitation, pick the right one. Dating is very important. It's just like some people, some women or some men, it's just like dating, they just making fun for that. And some women, they just use for dating, to save their money, they can able, to go and eat whatever they want to eat, or go with the man for free. That's how they really look when it comes to dating. But some, some people look, the dating is to know the person. That's why you dating. So if you're dating, if for men and women, that when you once you start dating and you see that you are not something in common, there's no compatibility, you don't have to continue that, because it will not really work, because you can see the red flag from the dating. What will happen to you if you're gonna marry that person, because you already seen the red flag? Why you have to continue that? So for me, it's just like, sit down with the man that you have something in common. That's, that's a good sign that you can able to have a good, a good relationship, end up to marriage. If you don't have that, pick the right one that has something in common, with you or in you. Now, that's a good question when Kiss asks, how long? For me, it's just like, for me, I don't want to take a man for just a week. This is what, this seriously, guys, in real life, especially those Filipina finding their husband. Some it works, some they don't really work. Just like a week, they already boyfriend and girlfriend through a YouTube, because some Western men uh consider YouTube is a dating site, which is not. But it's just like, they go there, and then some women, maybe they just want to, you want to have that boyfriend, and then they feel something, oh, I like this person, so it work. But some, they don't really work. For me, it's just like, you give a chance, to yourself to let the know the person. So, and you don't need to end up that, you've been for 5 years, 6 years, but you don't really see the future with him. You don't really see the future with her. So why you should continue your relationship, and there's a doubt on your heart, find a person that you can comfortable, and you have no doubt in yourself. Oh, you really get the Bible and say something, huh? There is, there it is. Just have to read it. You know, just it's just like, marriage is like a lifetime commitment to your partner. You have to know the rules of marriage. And if you can take that rules, then go ahead, marry that person. If not, because if you're not really good to the rules of marriage, it don't really work. You're gonna end up 5 years, 10 years, you're gonna split, or you're gonna, separate for that. So it's just like, be matured enough to understand the rules of marriage. But for the cohabitation, for me, I don't need to rush myself, to marry a person, because this is not me and him, or this is not her and him. You don't really care what people tells, okay? Because you're not living with people. You're living with her, you're living with him. So it's important is your decision, how you look at your person, how does that your partner personality. So for me, it's just like to know the person first 1 year. That would be enough for you to know your partner. If there's something that you're in common and there's something uncommon, that uncommon thing that you notice about your partner, it's just like it's easy for you to handle, to analyze. I'm going to to continue this or what, because you already have something in common. So all you have to do is just like to adjust thing that uncommon about your partner. So, and then by the time that you've been that know that person, then try to live with the person, try to leave the person. Are you comfortable sleeping with her? Are you comfortable sleeping with him? And you don't have to worry that once you're in your bed, you don't have to think that, oh, he might do this or she might do this while you're sleeping. So that's very important, because if you doubt about yourself that you sleep with her or sleep with him, that's a bad sign that you are not compatible to live together, if you have that doubt in your heart, are you comfortable eating with her? Are you comfortable eating with him? Because here's the thing, guys. All men, all women, they show the good side of them while you're dating. If you live with her or with him, you will discover the thing that you don't see during the time that you were dating, because majority of us, men and women, shown the good side of us. Okay, so are you comfortable eating with her or with him that her mouth or his mouth is sounds like a pig while eating? Of course, you have to correct that on her. You have to tell your partner. So what if you cannot really say it in a nice way, in a polite way, and this person take it into offend? So that's the cause of conflict. And some people, when you live together, they are not the type of person that will tell you in a polite way, because you know what? You're living together. He or she has the face to tell you that you are in control with her or with him. You are right, Live. Common interest in communication is a give and take relationship. It's compromisation. From Frank, why are there so many women here that have kids and no husband, women that are married and alone with kids? Because the pick the wrong man. Okay, so this is one thing that when it comes to that, Frank, you are not uh ignorant what's going on here in my country. You've been here for 8 years. You can see that there's a lot of Filipino men leaving their family. I'm talking about those less, they don't have a job, they don't have, they are not financially stable, but it's easy for them to jump off their family and find another woman and then build another family. Because, you know what? Our law here, when it comes to that, are not really enforced. We have the same laws in the United States that parents should give financial support, or if the man do something in the marriage life, he or she will give support. But we don't really have that as law in the states. That's the reason why it's easy for those men to leave their wife and find another woman, and then when they get tired of that woman, then leave and find another woman. So the thing is, we have law that, but they cannot really enforce that, because you know what? They don't give people here a regular job, enough wage to sustain the needs of Filipino family. That's a big mistake, or that's the lack of program that my government gave. But they give, but it's not as give a good or decent place for a Filipino family to give that to their family. Because look, you can go to like Ortigas, Makati, Parañaque, all big cities here in the Philippines. You can see the high-rise buildings. Okay, nice high-rise buildings. So the question is, who they gonna build for that? Who gonna, who gonna, why they build that? What is their intention to? Whose people they gonna sail for that? For Filipino? No, it's not. Yes, for Filipino that has money that can afford to buy that high-rise building. Yes. But majority they build that for foreign people wanted to for good wanted to retire here in the Philippines. Why they can these builders, why, if they really care about Filipino families, so that they can tell to their people that they can give a decent place to live, why they cannot build a condominium that Filipino can afford to pay that monthly. So regular Filipino they spend like 15,000 a month. They can't afford that because the monthly contribution, the monthly payment for that condo, it's ridiculous. How they can afford that if they ask for like 35,000 and then your salary is 15,000. So the government will take step for that. Give the right wage to Filipino so that so that Filipino can afford to give that a good life or decent place to live with their family. But we don't do that. Just only rich Filipino. And actually, the bottom line there is just like they build this high rise building for foreign people or for foreigners. Even in cohabitation, you can make that. It's just like that the thing is, what, when it comes to conceive a babies, if the woman wants to wants to f for that, they can anytime. It's not for marriage or what, cohabitation. If they want anytime, if they're they go straight and put the sign here, oh, men will grab that. Or in the US, male will be put in jail for not paying child support. Here there's a lot of Filipino men that they don't give support. You're very lucky to have a father of your child if that man has money. Yes, they will give, but there's some men that they are doubt about their self, that is this my child or what? They do the DNA test before they give that. So that's the thing. For me, it's the cohabitation. I let myself talk to the man. This is my opinion about cohabitation. This is how I look about things, that you will not end up divorce or file annulment with each other. Take your time. Like I said, 1 year, that would be good time for you to know your mate during the during dating online. And then when you come here, you don't have to rush, like other that this is a lot of Western people coming here and then they're married right away. Let yourself live with her or live with him so that you feel comfortable. Don't rush yourself. It's just like you just put stone on, you just pick a stone and hit on your forehead if you're gonna do that. So if you think that you're comfortable, there's no problem. You have to observe. You have to observe. If you have the right time to do, then go and marry her or marry him. So that's the important thing. So when it comes to that, that's I think that you don't have to rush yourself. Don't don't mind what people, what people telling you, or what you heard, what people said, because this is between you. So you're gonna marry it, but you are not, you are not comfortable, and then it will not really work, because you're gonna end up separate on him or separate on her. Should women be able to take birth control while living in? Oh, definitely, Frank. For me, definitely. Conceive a child if you are 100%, you're 100% stable. So if you're not, don't conceive a child, because if you conceive a child that you are not financially prepared, and this child, what can you expect a child to be as successful in life if you don't, if you are the parent, don't, you are not capable to, sustain, or to sustain the need of your child, go to school, things that you need to be doing. How can you expect that? It's good to have a child, but if you are not financially, having a child is a big responsibility. It costs a lot. But hi Peter, welcome to my show. What's up? How are you? How are you doing? Good morning too. Okay, that's a good question. Can a Filipino afford birth control? Yes, can afford, because we have free birth control in in our health center, because it's one of family method, family planning method. So but sometimes some, some they are not really, the kind of, that kind of birth control that they have, and free giving in the health center, they are not really comfortable. They change into the brand that they can able, to have that. We have that in, free in a health center. Howdy, Frank. Coffee break, then back to planting. Oh, that's nice. What are you planting? Fruits or vegetable? Yeah, sometimes you have to take a rest, You don't have to overwork for that. Yes, it is. It's legal, the birth control here in the Philippines. Before my time, we don't have that. It's just like, oh, okay, good. I love vegetable. For during the time that I was born, there's no family, no family planning or family, birth control thing. Okay, but now we have. There's so many option that a woman can able to pick which one they prepare. They also do the, the before, they don't have, vasectomy for male and ligation for female. We have that. But before before I born, we don't have that. But now we have that. So we have different types of birth control here in the Philippines, Frank. That's legal here. But abortion, okay, just to let everyone on my live chat, abortion here is illegal. I know abortion in Korea, which one is, the good north? No, uh not the bad Korea, huh? South Korea? Yeah, South Korea. It's it's legal, the abortion. So it's just like, it's just like for, my advice for those couple, you already married, you don't have to rush yourself to have a child. Okay. Then if you both financially stable, if you have enough okay. South Korea is legal, the abortion. I always confuse that North. Okay, now South Korea is legal, the abortion. Here in the Philippines, abortion is illegal. You might go to jail, life imprisonment. If somebody will, do, or if some doctors that do that, they might go to jail, or they might lose their, license for that. But that's why, there's a lot of Filipino that time. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. There's a lot of Filipino. Why we end up nine? Why we end up of nine? Because during the time of my big sister, we don't have that, kind of family control or family planning. We don't have that. Okay. And then when that, I don't know what year it started about that. Okay. So a lot of Filipino, they are not really comfortable to use rubber. Okay, they are not. But they are not really in that time. They are not really educate how important is that. Okay, so now you can see, guys. For those Western people coming here in the Philippines, go to 7-Eleven. They have rubber there. They different, different what do you call that, different scent, different size. They have, even all the convenience store, they have rubber. Okay, Jose, muchas gracias for coming, Jose. Hello and good morning, Mrs. Tate. Good morning too, Jose. Good to hear. Not a big fan of abortion. Very true. What do you mean very true? So they are not comfortable, some women, some Filipina guys, okay. Uh well, for me, here's the thing. This is about health. Health, about, about using rubber. Especially if you doubted a man. You're very aware of that, because you know you might get some steady. Okay, there's nothing wrong, because the rubber is not, the rubber it's not thick, it's thin, that you don't really feel that. But I don't know, this some women are, you let the man don't use that, and then you let yourself pregnant, and then what, men run away. So it's not a smart decision that you made. So that's, that's the thing, guys. For those Western people coming here in the Philippines, you don't, actually, some men, they are a little bit hesitate, to go on the, convenience store like 7-Eleven, to buy this rubber because, some, cashier will ask, what size, sir? So if they're gonna ask, so it's gonna be, so usually they let the woman buy for that. Okay. And then here's the thing, guys, especially for those Western people, I'm gonna reveal this secret for women. Okay. Some women, they have belief. They put rubber on their wallet because we have belief on that to have a fortune. Okay. Put, uh, you know, rubber in our wallet, but I don't do that. Because that kind of belief, I don't really believe that. Okay, but if you, especially this, this kind of belief usually happened for those Filipina living in the countryside. Okay, so for those Western men dealing with women in the countryside, I'm not putting them down, but just to be aware of what you seen on their wallet, don't accuse them that they are cheating on you. Okay? Because some, they do that. They put rubber on their wallet so that, just to make, they said that, once you put uh rubber or like bailiff, your wallet is always have money. So for me, I'm not really into that, because how can you make money if you don't work? All right, you let people give you. That's it takes two to tango. So you work so that you have money. So I don't have that kind of belief. So if you notice that, or if you encounter that, okay, don't accuse. So it depends what personality of the girl you're dealing with. But if you're dealing with, she's nice, she's faithful and loyal to you, don't judge her right away, because that's belief. All right. So now you know that, there's some women, they put rubber on their wallet because of that belief. So, speaking of religion, before we Christianize, we Filipino, we worship trees, we worship mountain, we worship land. We don't worship this kind of image that now that majority of Filipino worship. Before we Christianize, we do that. So what I mean is why I mentioned that about the rubber pudding, because that's what they believe. Okay. So when I first came here, I ran into so many women that were married and not with their husbands. I did not know that it was illegal to date a woman that was no longer with their husbands or years. Yeah, that's majority of, it's just like there's a white man, he's dealing with, a Filipina vlogger. Okay, she's separated but she's not annulled. So what this white man do to the Filipina blogger, what the Filipina wants, she can get from this white man. So I told him, don't do that. Especially the ex husband of that Filipina, he has no relationship. with other woman. Okay, so they decided, to separate, to give a chance with each other to realize, am I going to continue this relationship with you, or am I going to file annulment with you? So I advise him, don't do that. Okay, and especially the ex-husband is just still single and you're dealing with Filipina, you come here in the Philippines, and do you know what he told me? I don't care what you said as long as I love her. Oh yeah, you don't really care. Okay, wait until you're gonna embrace the cold jail door. I give you an advice from a Filipina that knows what's laws when it comes to marriage here in the Philippines. Because you know what? The Filipina asks her, I want this, I need money. He sent that. He's simp. He's a simp. He's really dumb enough to not to understand what I'm telling him as a Filipina. I protect him not to go to the jail, but he said he don't care what I'm said. As long as he likes, as long as he's happy with that Filipina. And this white man, I'm not prejudiced against white, just only him. Because he really dumb, not to listen what I said. He didn't know that's the against the law here in the Philippines. You might fine and you might go to jail for doing that. So especially you both go, especially if the man or woman has no relationship, because the man or woman cannot really um, get excuse or also counter affidavit to him or to her. So that you have to be scared about that. For those Western people dealing a Filipina, she's separated, but she's not annulled, and especially he or she has no relationship, just single. You have to be scared about that. Because if that wife or husband found out that you're dealing with her or with him, oh, you both go to jail for that. So it's just like, oh my God, I give him a, idea to be careful about that. I know that, uh, man has a personal needs that nobody can give. N- just only him decide to find that personal need. But you have to be aware of that. So that's the thing. And when it comes to, here's the thing, guys, that for those Western people, don't tell a lie, huh? Don't tell a lie, guys. I know 101% majority of men and majority of Filipino, when you come here, they give you P for that. And I have nothing against with that. But be careful, be careful about this woman, because you never know who she's dealing with, and you will end up to have that STD. Beware. So when you do, you know, intimacy, make sure that you use rubber. It's not insulting her personality, it's your safety. Okay? If she thinks that you are, you insult her, there's something not right there. She's something hiding from you. Because me, I also, I'm also protected about that if the man use that. You both protected, not only yourself, it's also her protected. So if she thinks that that you insult her, that's a bad sign, guys. She's not meant for you. So that's the thing. But it's just like, okay, so you know making that thing, guys, it's just like, I'm gonna example that you do a gambling gamble. You roll the dice, but you have to face the consequence. If you get that STD, then that's your fault because you're not aware of use protection. Okay. I check my microphone if you can hear me that. So if you're aware, this just like for me, if this is my, it's my honest opinion for that. No, I will not against because I love the person. I will not get him in trouble when it comes to that. But as a woman, I'm honest, but I'm gonna tell the truth to him. So it's up to you. But I still respect his decision for that. But I'm also gonna tell to that person that you don't have to do that. Okay. I mean, you don't have to be, you don't have to be doubt about me because I'm, honest, but I will respect his decision for that. It's just like, yesterday, while I'm cooking, Frank, watch, Rafi Tolpo. There's a blogger that, did Rafi Tolpo in action. Um, and this guy, he's dealing with, she's married to a bar girl. And then he said that, on the first, and the bar girl that he married dealing with the bridesmaid that they're secretly uh, have relationship. And then he said that he never, he believed, the girl, the first thing that he said that they don't really enjoy, they never had intimacy on the first day because of that. And then the bar girl tell him that she's virgin. Oh my goodness. Is really dumb enough to believe what that woman tell him. She's working in the bar girl and she's dancing. She's not a server. She's dancing on the stage and tell him that she's a virgin. And then he go to Rafi Tofu and do something. Y- I always hear, the emergency message for our phone because, the heavy rain here, typhoon. So it makes me, oh my God, why they keep doing this? Why they keep doing this? Fool for this. My goodness. And you go to Rafi Tolfo and do such a thing. And then you know what Rafi Tolfo is laughing about? Do you really believe, sir, that she's virgin? My God. So hilarious when it comes to that. Okay, from Frank Tate, 9873. Do Filipinos feel that getting married is a trap that you can't get out? Yes, it's a trap. Yeah, this is matured. I understand about marriage life. Okay. Did you hear that, guys? The rain, heavy rain. So don't be surprised if suddenly I disappear because if we have blackout, it's just like you don't have internet, huh? Yeah, so here is just like, as a matured Filipina, I know what's going on about marriage. Here's the thing, guys, that you take, annulment, it takes a lot of money, to have that. You have to wait. Once you filing the annulment thing, you cannot really wait for like weeks, months. No, you can't. 10 years, 15 years or more on that. So, and then you have to show the court the strong ground that you are deserve that kind of annulment. But actually, guys, I'll give you three strong grounds that you can able to present that in court here in the Philippines for those Western people. If the man is is put hands on you, you are a battered wife, you can file for that. And then he has a mentally problem, and then he cannot perform his obligation as a man, you can file that. That's a strong ground. Then other than that, the tiny thing, you have to wait that for 10 to 15 or more years. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy to file. Unless if you are billionaire in dollars, you can make that expedite the result. But if you are just middle class, upper middle class, it takes five, no, it takes 10 to 15 or more years before sometimes the court valid your grounds for that. Women have been using baby trap for years, both here and there. Yes, some, like, I agree with that. I agree with that, Peter, because some women, here's the thing, guys, that they ask child support. That money that the father gave to a child, it not really 100% go that amount to the child. Some mother, they use that for their personal needs. It's not 100%, even in other countries, they are not. They use a child to get money from the father of the child, but that money that the child support is not 100% goes to the child. Sometimes, sometimes it won't. They just use for their personal needs. I'm not saying that's only in the other country. It's also happened here in the Philippines. Just like I mentioned about this. Don't think that Filipino are friendly. No, it's not. Because I'm a Filipina, I also experience some of my people, they stick nose on me. They are so snobby. What do you mean regarding obligation as a man? What do you mean? Can't get can't get it up. What obligation are you talking about exactly? What do you mean? I don't really get it. When it comes to child support, when it comes to wife obligation, what? I don't really get it, Jose. Jose, Jerome. I was asking regarding the reason for file annulment. Okay. So, there's so many, okay, I'll get your point. So when it comes to file annulment here in the Philippines, that if it's the ground that is not really strong, that you can convince the court, they will not, it takes time, it takes time to give you a result for the 10 to 15 years. Unless if you are billionaire, you can expedite that, the result that you want to know, so that you can do something, to process that another petition for that. So here's the thing, the three reasons why I mentioned about, the grounds that, that you can really 100% that your files will be granted, is just like, if that women or men, put their hands on you, you always have black eye or what. That's one thing that, especially for women, we have a law here in the Philippines, BAUSI, or BAUSI, violence against child's women. Okay, so that's, one strong ground for annulment, to file annulment. And then number two is, he has a mental problem, you know he has a mental problem. And there's still, I'll just give you the three that you can file that. But there's so many grounds that, less of grounds that you can file annulment here in the Philippines. And then number three is just like, he or she cannot perform his responsibility as your partner. In short, you cannot have intimacy. He or she refused. You can use that as a ground for annulment. Okay, that's what I mean. Oh, Bob! Hello, Bob! Good morning! Mayong buntag. Uy, it's not buntag there. It's gabi na. Good evening to you. So from Frank Tate, hi, Bob. Greetings, Bob, from Peter. Domestic violence, mental illness may not paying his way or not working for his family. Absolutely. Absolutely, Jerome. I want annulment because she made for just for Twitter. You're a lover. You're a coffee lover, Peter. You're a what do you call that, guys? That in Indonesia, it's a kind of it's a kind of animals that they eat the coffee beans, and then when they do number two, that's coffee. It costs, that's, I think that's most expensive coffee in the world. That that animal, they gonna eat it, and once they do number two, that's coffee, they get it, clean it, and they roast it, and then they grind it and make into a delicioso coffee. So you have to buy that, Peter. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my goodness. You know what, guys? This is thing that know. Wait, hold on. There's wait, hold on. What kind of what kind of uh just give me a few minutes, guys. I'm gonna show the The animals, they call it Asian palm civet. How can you read it? Civet. Okay. Okay, so this is okay. Just like it says here, Paradoxurus. The scientific name, Paradoxurus hermaphroditus. Huh. A small cat, like a mammal native to Southeast Asia, eats ripe coffee cherries, kopi luwak. Oh, this is famous in Indonesia. So they call it kopi luwak. Okay, I'll show you guys. Can you see it? Oh, oh my god. Ay, because I'm using, that's a good No, it's not, Frank. It's not a bot. It's it's a small. It looks like a rat. You know. Yeah, that's that's very famous in Indonesia. Come on, any one of you guys can Google that. The this is famous in Indonesia. Oh, well, the expensive coffee animal poop. I will give you that. I will give you that so that you will not uh for Peter. You know that. You search that. You search that. Me either. When I watch, even though that I drink coffee, for me, no, no, no. It's so yuck. Yuck. Yuck talaga. Hell no. That's why, guys, for those Western people visiting in Indonesia, especially in Bali, that's how they serve coffee. So, that's Sibet. Sibet ba yun? How can you read it? Sibet animal. No, it's not. Yeah. Oh my God. It makes me laugh about that. Okay, hold on, guys, huh? Let me remove. Let me. Well, I cannot share this, guys. I always receive, emergency. Okay, hold on. If I can able, to show you guys how they do. Oh, no, 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 no. Oops, oops. I, I, I can't. Hold or just for Santo. I can't able to share with you guys, the coffee lowak. So this is the good thing, guys, that if there's a typhoon here, we always receive emergency call for our phone. That's a good thing. Oh, see? My goodness. My goodness. Okay. It's a type of cat not drinking cat shit. But it tastes, they will clean it. They will clean it because that kind of animal, they just only eat the coffee beans, the ripe coffee beans. Because uh excuse me, we have a coffee tree in my hometown, because my mother planted coffee. I tried the ripe coffee beans. It's so sweet. People will buy anything. Yeah, that's why, guys, people that, when visited Indonesia, they just enjoy the coffee, and then, oh, they never know that that's come from the seabed animal poop. Bob and Have already had this conversation. Good morning. Oh, Gitchi. Hello, good morning. No, Bob, if you're gonna stop here in my house, I will buy you not poop. I will give you, kaping barako. That's the kaping barako, Bob, is just like famous in Batangas. It's very aromatic. It's not came from seabed poop, huh? Okay. It's not. I will give you that. I will not give you a trauma for having a seabed no a seabed poop coffee. Oh, I enjoy that. One, I'll when we gonna have out of town. Batangas is one of the famous. That's outside Metro Manila. It's another region in Luzon. That's very famous about. Barako means, barako is like a macho. That's barako is the Tagalog, in Batangas term, that they're macho, they're strong, like that, the barako. So, like, when you drink they name the coffee kaping barako, because it's very strong, that you will love to drink that. Kaping barako. So very lami the kaping barako. So anyway, guys, so that's the cohabitation that I mentioned about that. So in the other hand, so in your case, guys, before you married, which you decide is to get the married, the man or the woman first, or you give a chance to yourself that um you know uh uh adjust before you settle. Strong, strong, matipuno, makisig. Okay, so let's go to, because I mentioned about, the cohabitation for marriage. Okay, marriage first. Okay, for those couples, marriage should come first. Okay, marriage represent a clear commitment, and depending on the country, creates legal rights and responsibilities that cohabitation may not provide in the same way. For people who value marriage is this lifelong commitment, waiting until marriage to live together can also reflect their personal, cultural, religious belief. But marriage first doesn't automatically guarantee a successful relationship. You can may marry someone and only later discover that you have completely different expectations about money, children, household responsibility, family, or communication. That's why couples need to have serious conversation before getting married. I agree with that. So it's just like if you if you expect a woman will clean your house or do some household, some women they don't do that. They don't do that seriously because especially once their nail is painted, they don't want to ruin. Once their hair is fixed, they don't want to get sweat and all of a sudden the money that they spend for their hair it's gonna be ruin their hair or they're gonna ruin their looks. They don't do that. So you have to, you have to have a good conversation that woman. So if you're gonna take that woman don't cook you, don't take care of you, then it's your decision. If you don't want that kind of woman, then find another woman that you can have things that you want in life. Asawa ko does all cooking and dishes. Yeah, that's one thing about Filipina. When you marry Filipina, the Filipina that has uh mindset how to value marriage, yeah, they do that. Even some rich Filipina, they do. Even though that their schedule is so hectic, they still have time, to make food for their husband. Okay, just to let their husband that I always there for you, I appreciate you. Okay, but not all right. So why some men don't really want that? Because it's not their, it's not their preference to find a mate. So if the man really if that's okay, if he's working and then when he come back home there's no food, it's his choice. There's something wrong. There's something wrong in his brain, my goodness. You work hard, you work hard and you arrive home, there's no food, you're the one who gonna cook. If you're gonna do that to Filipino family, oh my goodness. All his family will cursing you. You are the talks of the town, that you are worthless wife. You are, there's so many words that you can hear from that. But, well, some, but, majority of Filipino women, we're not doing that. Oh my goodness. Especially that, our husband take good care of us. No, you will not. You will treat it like, not literally king, but you will treat it like a king. It works so well for us. Your asawa, she's a good wife. I can tell the way that you tell us, but she's a good wife. And not only a good wife, a good sisters, a good mother. You hit the jackpot lottery for that. She cooks and this is I do the rest of the housework. Married now for 21. Yes, bravo. Congratulations, Bob. I love asawa ko. I will never leave her. Of course, Bob, if your wife doing that, if your wife doing that to you and then you gonna leave here for, there's something not right in you. Yes, you always, take care of the right person. Frank is a very lucky man as well. Guys, I don't want to be Frank, are you there? Are you there? Are you listening? To be honest with you guys, we've been married for 8 years. Frank never do the dishes. Well, Well, before that, before we get married, he said, that's the first. I think that's the first last that he made me a breakfast because I'm easy person. What's on the table? That's I'm gonna eat. Don't feed me catfish, okay? I will not eat the catfish. If you feed me ampalaya, I will eat ampalaya than the catfish. I will not. Okay, so that's the first thing that I don't know about American breakfast because we Filipino, rice is life. Fried egg, fried rice, and then dried fish. That's our big breakfast, and then coffee. And then he said, the French toast. I don't know that you put egg, like cinnamon or what. And then I don't know that. Oh, I'm interesting. I want to try that. He cooked that in the hotel. And then I remember, mm, but I told him it tastes good, but if I gonna eat this, oftenly, I will I will get tired of this because I'm not used of that. So that's the first and last that I remembered he cooked. But we're not married at the time. But we're married. He never do. I do everything here. Actually, he asked me, "You want to hire a house help?" And then I told him, "For what?" I enjoy. Our place is not as big as this is not a mansion. We're living in the condo. Okay, two bedrooms. This is for like 76 square meters. You know, I told him, no, no, I will not, I will not hire for that because I can able, to do, the cooking, the cleaning. Okay. So I refuse, him to hire a house help for that. So instead of paying, paying the house help and then I'm not working, it's okay for me to clean the house. I'm not complaining. Okay. So he never experienced washing the dishes. He never, for 8 years, I don't see Frank go to my kitchen and do something there. Well, I remember when I get sick before the pandemic, I have fever. It's just like, it lasts like 3 days. I told him, Frank, I can't cook, just open the canned foods there and because, I'm not really feeling well. And that's the time he get up and go to the store and buy some food that for me to eat that, it makes me feel okay. But I said, I don't like that. I want Filipino food. I want Filipino, vegetables. So I want that. But I appreciate that on him. But, I told him that I'm not the type of person when I sick that I just stay there, but I can able to do that. But Frank knows that I'm not really feeling, I'm really tired. If I'm not telling him, Frank, I know I'm not, I'm not. Would you like some to eat? And then he said, things like that. And I told him, Frank, I have do something there, in the fridge. Can you eat that? Because I'm not really, I'm tired, especially when I clean. Because when I clean the house, it's totally clean. Clean talaga, as in. So I'm tired. I'm tired of that, but I'm not complain. But I just let him know that I'm tired. But I already have that. Like I already thought the ham that he can able to make sandwich. Uh, tuna sandwich. I have that. There's a peanut butter and jelly if he wants everything there. But I don't let the refrigerator is empty. Like last night, I cooked 3 menu. So if I'm go outside, do my thing, it's just like, you just open and reheat, put it in the microwave because there's a food. I don't let the refrigerator is empty. Even though I know that he knows how to make his food, but I don't let him to do that. Breakfast is coffee and bread. My asawa is still trying to make me big and fat. You know, you know what? Frank now he's less because he wants to because he do like tai chi exercise because he said he's fat. For me, you're not fat, but me, I'm getting weight. He told me that you have to less your eating. I think even though I eat small, but my metabolism it starts to slow, so maybe I that's the reason why I gain weight. If my wife wants to kill me in my sleep, so easy to her. She can give me injection and made me down fat and put me down. Oh no, I don't think she will do that. If she do that, Bob, you did things that she will never forgive you. Bob, she still loves you. You know, here's the thing, guys, that this is for Western people. It doesn't matter if you're white or black. Once you find a Filipina and you take care of her, she's 100% one loyal to you. I'm gonna mark that my words, to share with you guys. If you pick the right Filipina, all right? Not the burger, come on. Juicy reds in fried rice and breakfast of champion. Hello, my friend Jose. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Do you guys have Netflix? We don't have Netflix, but we have HBO Max, and then we have Prime. I provide money, Lily does everything else. You know what? It's just like, the reason why I mentioned about, the inflation here in the Philippines, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So I have to change my way of do grocery. I do grocery once a month now. So that, especially the price of gasoline here, oh my God, is so ridiculous, guys, that you don't really want to drive your car or your motorcycle for that. So we do once a week, once a month groceries, and it takes one day, to do things. I have to organize. I have to do a menu because before it's just like the price is not really bad, but now it's getting bad. So we go to different store and I can see the price of 10 pesos, 20 pesos difference each store. So imagine, guys, if you have so many items and you're gonna save that, you will get that. Like we don't drink water from the faucet, direct to the faucet here, because it's not really safe. And then we have water free for in our area. So Frank don't really trust that, so we bought a water in the supermarket. And I found out that every bottle of 10 liters, if I gonna go online, I save like 30 pesos each 10 liters of water. So what I did, I just go online, I buy bulk, so I save. So in 2 liters, I can buy another bottles of 10 liters. So I do that, but it's just like you have to set aside a big amount of money for that so that you can save. Don't buy just like a small, because I realize here, especially here in the Philippines, if you're gonna buy a small size like shampoo, like soy sauce, you're gonna end up spend more. Buy the big size like soy sauce. Soy sauce is life here, just like rice. Silver Swan soy sauce. I don't use any brand of soy sauce. Silver Swan is my brand of soy sauce. So the inflation here is so bad. You have to be, aware of. And we don't cook, how do you call that? We use, the gas for cooking. So and then 1.5 kilograms of gas tank, the price here is just like about over 1200. So how much is that in dollars? About over 20, $20 USD. So if I bake oftenly, it's just like lasts for like 3 months, but I'm less bake. It's just like will last for 4 months. But I'm not really into that, frying or what. Sometimes we eat like fried, but I'm oftenly do bake. Bake chicken, bake pork chop, more on baking, I mean. Because we know, well, Frank is no longer spring chicken. So I have to be aware of, of his diet. Because he has hospitalized last year, no. Yeah, I think last year. We've been there in hospital 14 days. It's a big amount of money that we spend, so I have to be aware of his diet. Asawa just go home from work. She is taking me out of dinner date. Wow, that's good. Best wishes to all of you. Okay, thank you so much, Bob, for coming. Play hard to get. What is the cost in peso for gas there now? So I already mentioned, Jerome, that the brand of my gas is just like Petron Gasol. Petron Gasol is just like 11.5 is just like 1200 over. There's a centavos. Wait, let me 1258. Because just like just last week I ordered that. And I always make that, like I do a menu like, usually our breakfast like, American breakfast. I don't really have that. Wow, yeah, it's really, so you have to be careful, I don't want to cook like I noticed. I told Frank, our gas, it's getting pricey. So that's why, last night I cooked three menu: smattered pork chop, vegetable stew with meatballs, and mechado. It's just like a beef stew, Filipino style. But you can partner that with mashed potato or steamed rice, because there's a tomato sauce and the secret spices that I marinated with the beef. So that's good for but the vegetables too, and then the meatballs, I don't need to eat rice because there's a lot of potatoes. I put some vegetable, carrot, beans, corn, and celery, and then meatballs. And of course, smothered pork chop, is so good. So I just cook that. So what we're gonna do is just like put it in the fridge, and then the rest put it in the freezer. Okay, so I don't want that, because when you cook guys food, it will last, it's still good for over a month. Okay, so I don't want to eat that at the same day, so I'm gonna do another menu. So we just eat once that kind of menu and then put it the rest in the freezer, and then on the next, no, how many, after 3 days I'm gonna cook another menu. So, and then the menu that I gonna do is rotation, so that you will not get tired of, if it's smothered pork chop, you get tired every day you're gonna eat that. Excuse me. And then if you eat vegetables too with meatballs, if you're gonna eat that every day, you get tired of that. So I'll do rotation for that, or I schedule for that. Because if you're not, like I said, the inflation here in the Philippines is so bad. So if you are not that kind of productive mind when it comes to your food or your food budget, you gonna running out for for budget for the whole month. So I also already make menu for the whole month. So how many kilos or how many pounds of pork chop are gonna use, how many pounds of chicken, different parts of chicken, how many pounds of beef. I already make that menu. And then if there's no, not all, because sometimes when I cook that, sometimes we go outside and buy some food that sometimes we go to the mall and Frank asks me, what do you want to eat? Sometimes I say, I want pizza, I want Burger King. And then I love Burger King with onion ring. Oh, that's my favorite. Whopper with cheese and then onion ring, that's my favorite in Burger King. Or sometimes we go to SNR, Parmesan chicken. I love that. The chicken wings. So the menu, it's just like so my budget is just like, sometimes there's a leftover. So the budget will not really, if you're gonna spend that, like I spend about, like, for the whole month, just only meat, not including my toiletries, just for the whole month, about like 10,000 pesos. I bought a little vegetable for that, so that I can able to mix that with my recipe or menu for the 3 days, or for, because you cannot really stock vegetable for a month. Okay, just only a week or 10 days, but meat, yes, you can. Yeah, in the other hands, that if you're not aware of what's going on in your country, it's not only here in the Philippines or other countries, it's you have to be aware where you are living. Okay, so you can stretch, but you have to prioritize the necessity, not the things that you want, the things that you need. That's, I always do that, guys, the things that we need. All right. So that's, we don't really have that kind of problem. I remember during the pandemic, especially here in the Philippines, that, totally locked down, guys. No public transportation. So that time we just have a motorcycle, but, I'm afraid of ride on the motorcycle. So I have bicycle. So Frank is not allowed to go outside because every family here, just only one representative can do groceries. So we don't really have that problem when it comes to emergency food, because I have so many stocks of canned foods that I consider that is emergency food. Until back to normal, I still have canned foods, and I realized, guys, when I check, it is expired. There's so many, there's so many food that we throw in because it's expired. It's not yet open, but it's expired. But I told Frank, no, I don't want to eat the expired, even though it's I don't want. I don't want to get sick for eating expired food through it. Okay, so before this, I'm gonna, number 4 here. Don't move in just because it's convenient. Most of people that they just move because it's convenient, because like some men, they just, they just want, okay, I don't want to pay for the my bills, so if the woman has the house, I can move to her place. Don't move in together simply because rent is expensive, because you're lonely, or because you think living together will force your partner to marry you. Those reasons can create problems later. All right. And don't get married simply because you've already lived together for years. Remember that, guys, huh? Yeah. Sometimes it's hard for me to dig where's the thing. But now I'm very wise now, because I put label of this is the date, and this is what type of meat. I already put that, and I have to separate that in every container. Marriage should be a decision based a commitment, compatibility, trust, and shared goals, not pressure or convenience. But sometimes it happens that some people, they just don't really do that, the commitment, compatibility, trust, they and share goals. It's just like they do that for uh for their personal interests. Like, if they found out that the man has a house or the woman has a house, they can move there for so that they will not pay the bills or the rent for that. Somehow, I'm not saying all, okay? And then, so the question is, which should come first? So, in your opinion, cohabitation first or married first? So, especially this is a good question for men. Who wants to come? Who wants to come up and tells me your honest opinion or your honest answer for this question? Which should come first? Me, I have also, two things that if I'm the man, okay, I should go for cohabitation, okay? Because I don't want to end up that I made a mistake for doing that. Then, there's a two things also that you can able to do, all right? Marriage first, especially if you financially stable, not unstable. You're stable. So you can, but you have to pick the right one. There isn't one universal answer that works for every couple, it says. Some couples successfully live together before marriage. Yeah, it's just like, the actor, until now they are not married, Kurt Russell and, the his wife, I forgot, I always forgot her name. Kurt Russell and Goldie, something. Her name is that. Goldie One? Correct me if I'm wrong. Until now, they're still not married, but they're still living together. What matter most is that both people understand what they are committing to. Okay, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. I love that couple. Okay, they already have grandchildren, but they're still living together. It reminds me of song of Algren. Let's stay together. I love that song. If you choose cohabitation first, all right, have clear conversation about where the relationship is going. It's your choose married first. Don't assume marriage will be magically solve compatibility problems. Enter where you need communication, honesty, respect, financial responsibility, and shared vision for the future. That's the end of the marriage thing, the discussion, I mean. So it's just like there, the two things, there's also the goods, the good output, or the good thing that you can do before you're settled. All right. So both are, for me, it's just like, yes, both, they have good side. Not only that one, the cohabitation side or the marriage side. For me, both has a good sides for those people wanted to settled. So cohabitation is the test fight. You want to make sure the plane will fly, right? So should couples live together before marriage, or should marriage come first? There is no perfect formula for every relationship, but there is one thing I believe everyone should do. Don't make a lifelong decision based only on emotions. Take the time to understand the person you're building your future with. So, cohabitation first or marriage first, and why? So, cohabitation versus marriage, which should come first or more, and more clickable for this, for those people live together, or what? So it's just like, for me, I both like, okay, because like I said, there's a good side of this. So that's one thing that, actually this show is really meant for Filipinos, women and men, but majority of Filipinos women, and also for Western people dealing with Filipino women. So, when you find a mate online, it doesn't matter what online that you met that person, if that's introduced with your friends, it doesn't really matter. But here's the thing that I really want to advise: find yourself to that person. If you have something in common, if you have compatibility, then that's the right, or that's the good sign that you have going to a deeper, and then you will end up to marry, you end up marrying that person. But if you don't really have that, it's just like, the small head. You just follow the small head. You marry that person because that's what the small head tells you, not the big head. You have to think many, 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 many times to do that, because again and again, I will say this, it will not work until the last breath of your breath. Okay, if you pick the right person, there's no fights. There's an inconvenience. It's easy to deal the inconvenience, but it's hard to deal with the fights every day. So you have to be a smart. If you want to leave, I'm not saying that, having a relationship with a Filipina, you have a peaceful, there's sometimes that, there's a certain things that you can adjust, but you cannot really deal every day in your life that, you end up that you are fed up, or you're exhausted about, things that going on every day in your life, and then you're gonna end up let it go, or you end up, you can stand anymore for that. You want to make sure that you can't stand the smell of the yes, true. It's part of marriage. Okay, it's part of marriage. And and then speaking of that, if your wife or your husband tells you, "Oh, sweetheart, I smell something in your breath," accept the fact that you have something bad smell on your breath. Don't take it that as insult on you, especially if your wife telling you that just you and her, not say that in public, or other people will heard. You have to be thankful for your wife or for your husband saying that. Before, I love to take like natural alternative, like alternative. It's not a medicine, it's just like, supplement, alternative supplement. I love garlic. I take garlic capsule. It's just like when Frank smell my breath, smell garlic, and then I told him I taking, a garlic supplement. And then when he complained about that, and I soak fresh garlic and the raw honey, not pasteurized honey, the natural honey, and I eat that with honey every morning with empty stomach, because that's a good, it's it makes you boost your immune system. It's antibiotic. There's so many good benefits. And he said that I smell something in your breath, that, and I know already he don't need, but I just waited for him to tell me. I told him, "Oh, yeah, I taking this kind of garlic supplement," and then I stopped that, and I don't really take that as insult to me, because I know to myself. Okay, same thing with the men, guys. Before I gonna end up this, okay, if you want to have a, a, a enjoyable, pleasurable intimacy, guys, you have to take a shower. Clean yourself. My goodness. Don't go jump up on the bed that you don't even brush your teeth, you don't even wash yourself. And don't be surprised that your wife just like, just act like it's just like a dead. No. Okay? Be aware of your be aware of your personal hygiene, okay? You don't have to ask. You're the only. knows about your hygiene. Okay, that's my, that's my advice. If you want to have that, a good, things that, sometimes we do like that, and some individuals just jump off. You don't even wash yourself, and they let, your wife always smell good or what, but yourself is so funk. Okay, and you want, you want your wife to do this on you, but no, she refuses because they smell, smell unpleasant smell. So just, just sometimes if you don't really know that, okay, because like I said, it's better not to have a fight, but inconvenience. If you are not aware of that, if you're gonna keep doing that, that you don't give a, you don't give, you don't care about that, then of course the person that, like, I'll just example this, guys. It's just example this, because this is an example that you will easy for you to absorb and understand what I really meant. Okay, so like I said that, when you do, like, in bed, also make sure that, especially when you have also your wife, your partner, your spouse, well, your spouse or your wife is clean. Don't jump off on her, and you don't even brush your teeth or wash yourself, and then you want her to do things that you want, but she refused because you are not smell. Like I said, you smell funk. So don't, because if you gonna keep that doing that, she will get tired. Same thing with the woman. Okay, don't let the man do that on you. If you don't really care of yourself, you don't. I saw something on the wall. If you don't, if you don't aware of your personal hygiene, things like that. Same thing in a marriage life. Okay, like Frank said, if you can stand the smell of, of your poops, then, but don't. Sometimes don't let the person keep doing that. Even though that you understand, but sometimes people will take advantage for that. They not learn their lesson. So my point is, for the for the content for today, is this cohabitation versus marriage, which come first? For me, both, both have a good side of it, so it's up to you which one you prepare to pick, cohabitation or marriage. But true honest with you guys, I prepare cohabitation before you end up to marry, because cohabitation, if something not right, if you found out men and women, they are violence, they have, so they are meant to you, it's easy for you to get out of that relationship. Okay, it's easy for you. But if you're married, like I said, there's so many legal documents or legal moves that you have to follow. Okay, you cannot really tell to yourself or to that person that, oh, I'm through, I'm fed up, I'm no longer living with you, so you can't do that. But cohabitation, it's easy for you. You can settle down without bothering yourself to court. Well, it's just like, marriage thing, that's a big thing here in the Philippines, all right? But you have, like I said, you don't have to really worry about what people said, because this is between you and him. Okay, but in the other hand, excuse me, The advantage of marriage to a person is just like is way more better than cohabitation. Like it's just like claiming things. Okay, and then of course your reputation is way different than the person that dealing with cohabitation. But it's just like you have to be sit on your mind that who cares. Okay, this is me between her and between him. So for me it's just like that's matter for me. It doesn't matter for me what people tells about me because this is my decision. So we're living together. I'm not living with people. So guys, what, it costs too much money to get away from your spouse. True. So think many, many times. Think many, many, many times before you do this kind of thing. What? Please wear your eyeglasses, Frank. Because you miss the spelling of spouse. But I understand what you really talk about it, spouse. So yes, that's I hope that it will be a big help for those people. And then especially now in the marriage thing that it's just like you there. Guys, here's the thing, guys. You just there for the children and your heart is aching. Do many things, do the move. You don't want to feel that. Be civilized. So any question before I'm gonna end up this, or any of you will have a question? I hope it will end, the typhoon. I'm sure that's part of Metro Manila here is flooding, and not only Metro Manila, outside Metro Manila, guys. But anyway, we know we Filipino when it comes to typhoon, we already knows what we're gonna do if it's typhoon is really, so we alerted because before the weather forecast tells that, oh, this is gonna be landfall on this area, and some part of Philippines is affected on this. You have to be prepared. As we Filipino, we already informed, and we already knows what we gonna do. Any question, guys? But I love when it's come to raining because it's not really hot here. Philippines is a tropical country. It's kind of a hot. Seeing a counselor a good thing to do before planning separation or annulment. True. uh you know um that's one thing that I also mentioned that or before you get married, or especially here in the Philippines, before you get married, before you build a business, you have to consult, or you have to uh find a good lawyer, a good attorney for that, so that they can give you a legal advice for that, no matter what you're doing, especially here in the Philippines. Okay. But when it comes to annulment thing, um, you have also, yeah, you have to sit that, to go to a legal, find a good, a good lawyer. But especially, I forgot what frank term for that. So when it comes to civil case like this, you have to find the lawyer that really specialize for that, because it's easy for him to give you an advice what you're gonna do so that you will have a successful and decision when it comes to annulment here in the Philippines. You have to seek that. It's not like, it's just like you find a lawyer, but his expertise is not that. So you find the attorney that he or she's expertise is on that. Because sometimes, some lawyers here, they just wanted to get your money, but they don't really not into that your concern. Yeah, that's the thing, guys, that once this is totally different. Once you live together, you find the things that you don't really encountered when you're um on dating. When you live together, that's the time that you will notice, oh, he or she's not sweet, he or she's so demanding, he or she's get tired of fixing herself. You're welcome, Jerome. Especially here in the Philippines, that there's so many, like I said, that when it comes to, if you have problem that you really want to get out of your marriage life with your Filipina, like I mentioned a while ago, pick the right attorney or lawyer. Don't pick that, this lawyer, this is, his specialty or her specialty is more on the commercial or real estate, but not, the annulment thing. You're gonna lose a lot of money, and they will get a lot of money from you, and then you end up losing your money for that. Actually, guys, if you're married here in the Philippines, if you're married here, for those Western people, if you're married here in the Philippines, you can file divorce in the States, because marriage here in the Philippines is recognized in the States. You can file divorce. Since that we don't have divorce here, we have annulment. Filipina are still in the trap that we're still in marriage, but for the men, like Western men, you're free, because our marriage is recognized, and then the divorce is recognized in the States. You're free, you can remarry, but we Filipina, we cannot. At the eyes of the law here, we're still married, so we're trapped. But you can, if you can file divorce in the States, where states you live. For those Western people, it's kind of a risky if you're gonna marry here in the Philippines, because you're free to do, because like I said, that marriage here is recognized in the States, but we Filipino, or we Filipino men and women were trapped, okay, because we don't have divorce here. They just keep on reading, but it's hard for them, to approve that in Congress and in the Senate. They just do the reading, but it's hard for them. It's hard for them, to approve that kind of bills or law. So anyway, guys, I will not stay long. So I really appreciate for those people who come and share the thoughts and share their question. I really appreciate that, guys. So I will not stay long because I already over 2 hours. But I really appreciate it. I enjoy talking with you guys. I hope that this kind of context, it helps you to open up what really matters, cohabitation or marriage. For those, couples that are married to a Filipino citizen, I give you an idea how to, and then if you are not happy with that person, I'll give you idea how to, to deal with that. So I hope that I can give you information. And I don't really want that, I don't really want to sit here in front of talking with you guys that, tells things that need to be tells to people. So I just give some, some details, but not really into that, because I'm that in the position that I'm not, my knowledge when it comes to legal thing is not really as wider for those really into the legal profession. So I just give you some clues or some ideas what you're gonna do. It's some of your rights, and it makes your problem solved, and make some things that you were aware of in my country. Because still, I can still a lot of Western people don't really pay attention about our laws here in the Philippines. So my advice before I gonna end up this, even though that you're coming here in the Philippines, but it's totally different with living here in the Philippines, you will see the differences once you start living here. Okay? Learn to know about our laws. Okay? And of course, you're right as a as a person once you leaving or once you visited Philippines, and that's all I can share with you guys, and you will learn and you will know what you're gonna stand and what is your right once you're here in the Philippines. So once again, guys, thank you so much for everyone, and I really appreciate your time in dropping by here in my show. So from the bottom of my heart, so don't forget, guys, to give me a thumbs up and share this live streaming to others, and don't forget to subscribe. And of course, for those who want to send donation, I really appreciate that, guys. So it makes uh, additional for my funds that I will do things so that I can improve my blogging or my my channel for that. And for those who wants to send donation to my people, just click. And then for those who wants to be part of my members, feel free to click the join button. And actually, guys, I really want to do, if I have like 10 members, I really want to do a segment for members only, that I want to share things about couples, things that how it really work and how it not really work for those couple, especially for those black spouse. Okay, in what's Filipina like and what does not Filipina don't want you to do for them. I really want to, I really want to do that kind of live stream for members only, but I don't have that enough members. So I need your, I need your help, to be part of my members so that I can able to share with you guys, because there's still a lot of couples, especially their black spouse, that they are not they are they it's hard for them to share because that's very private. But when you have live streaming for members only, you can really tell to them that you cannot really tell to this person or what, because this is not my channel embarrassment. If you're gonna say something, it's your embarrassment if you're gonna share this live stream to others. So once again, guys, maraming salamat sa inyo for for coming here, and I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So, Lilivet Tate channel is out. Bye everyone. Mwah.